What you'll find is that when you can't find that capital, when those investors are undermining you, et cetera, you have to beat it with traction. You have to beat it with execution, and that's what I did. Then we were able to get Meta producer. We were on USA Today, and a producer from Shark Tank reached out to us, and I started that process. And since then, it was there because we then had we're now like over 1 million users, and we've kind of tracked a lot of impact. So it was easy after that, but before that, going through that process was tough. It was, and it was underwhelming. Another one of my friends, actually, who's based out in Atlanta, she's a black woman, and she went through 150 meetings before she got her first yes. And I would say before I got on Shark Tank, I may have had like maybe a little less than that, and the same thing. Then what happens is I had some friends in venture capital who would tell me what happens behind closed doors, and there's this thing called pattern recognition. Yeah. In the space where if you're white, you come from a certain family, you have a certain background, have a certain job, went to a certain school, you match with Mark Zuckerberg or another successful founder, and when you don't have that, there are actually conversations behind internally. These people say, well, they don't really know what to do with you. And there was one of my friends who actually was at the firm that didn't know she's my friend. He told me that a lot of times when black founders or African Americans or anyone who they can't place, who they don't kind of grasp there, don't fit that pattern, doesn't hit all those check marks, they will literally say, like they really shake their head, like, what do I do with this founder? How can we vet them? How do we know that his dad isn't this? He didn't, go to Stanford or something like that. And they would literally not fund based on that. And it would not even be based on the idea, et cetera, because they've created that. So what we have to do is really change that narrative. And you look at, Mark Zuckerberg, he was a white man, but before him, they were funding these kind of these little fratty business dudes, finance dudes who were starting companies. And when he created Facebook, he changed that narrative. Now suddenly programmers and other people are now seen as entrepreneurs. And I think the same thing will have to happen for women and African American founders, is that we have to change that narrative. And that's something that I work to do every day. Just said, I think that, and when it comes to minority entrepreneurs, the knowledge gap of how to raise money is even more, right? And you're not learning it in college. But what a lot of my white friends benefit is they have exposure through other means. They have exposure through families and things like that. With me, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, from the South. And I really do. I just came up and and I put myself in the right environment. So to Melissa's point, it's so important, even if you just have the idea, because I understand some people, if you have a hardware startup, sometimes you need capital to really do it. But be able to really kind of put together a pitch deck that really has the data. Like, please don't go to people with your ideas, which is great, but understand the market, how to segment, how big is it, what's the market opportunity. You may have a great cash flow business, but it may not be a venture-backed business, right? Understand how much money you can make, what your price points are, what are your key metrics, what defines success for your organization, long conversation on how to put together a deck. But really how to put together the right pitch to get and really understand the numbers. I would say look at different new, more innovative loan programs that are out there that are geared toward tech startups and early stage ventures. A site called f6.com where it actually creates different accelerators and funding opportunities for everyone. And even you can filter for certain, there are minority angel groups out there that you may not even know about, right? Looking at accelerators as when you have an idea, put together a strong pitch, understand your metrics, get into an accelerator, let them take you through that program to kind of get product market fit, demo to investors, and also events where you can get exposure to investors. So those would kind of be my tidbits, and they were very successful for me and a lot of entrepreneurs I work with and mentor. They do it, and it's really allows them to scale their efforts on raising money.